Everyone, this is Fugu here from Creator DAO. I am here today with Guido, the lead game developer from Infinity Sky's really cool upcoming blockchain game. Welcome.
Yo, thank you. Yeah, nice to be here.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, good. It's Monday, of course, so there's a lot of work to be done. We're doing some more risky stuff in game development terms. But yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
Can we just go deep right away and you tell us what that risky stuff is?
Risky stuff. Well, it's not risky stuff for normal. It just makes the game a bit more complex. So you know that we first had. Have you played the game?
I tried the demo, yeah.
Yeah, the demo. Okay, yeah. So we're elaborating on the build mode at the moment, and you know that there's only single tile doors and one by one tiles, and we're like expanding that there's more tiles and bigger doors that you can make and stuff, but that will make the system a lot more complex. But we're getting more and more in the direction of, well, other building games like The Sims in a sense.
Will that allow you to build more complex constructions, castles, and so on?
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
It's gonna be nice. Yeah.
Let's rewind for a second just to go back to the beginning. And
yeah,
I'll just ask you simply, how did you get into the world of game development?
Myself, yeah. So it was one of the things I always wanted to do. I've been doing this for, well, since I was 12, I guess. So no, even since I was 7, I guess I was already making game maker games. Don't know if you know the program. So you know, it's the perfect combination of arts. You know, it has interaction, it has story, it has feeling. It is social. Yeah, it's actually you can describe it as the ultimate form of art, I guess.
Well, I know for sure I could vouch for at least 12 years or so back. I looked up your name on YouTube and I saw that there was something where you were creating the entrance to some sort of game tunnel.
Oh, really? Oh, that thing? Really? You saw that? Nice.
It was called Witch something?
Yeah. I guess one of my first games is on the sandbox of yo-yo games. Like that was even, I think I was 16 or something, and then I released my first little game. But it's not releasable, but for an amateur game, it was very nice.
There's also some videos that popped up of, I believe it's you playing the cello.
Yeah, that's true. That's me.
Let's see. Yeah. Can you hear the cello? This is you right here?
Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. The Bach.
Nice. Very, very cool. So you're like a concert cellist as well?
I am. I have also played concerts. That's what concert cellist means, I guess, you know, with an orchestra. Yeah, so I also played as a concert cellist sometimes with an orchestra behind me. It was amazing. It's not my job, but it's yeah, I've been doing it a lot. And my brother is a professional pianist, so with him sometimes I do some things for money. Of course, I am very glad that it's not my job right now because culture and Corona doesn't match well. So.
Will you be taking any of this musical influence into your development of the game?
Of course. In my hobby projects, I have also been recording some cello stuff and putting that as the background music. It's surprisingly hard, by the way. Like to get, you know, a cello, it doesn't have pure tones. It's not like a piano. You press the tone and it's good. So if you record it, you really hear all the small details. So if it's something is a little bit impure, you hear it all the time. If it's a few minutes loop, then yeah, it's quite annoying. But yeah, I did that, and I'm also for some hobby projects and some other games I make. Yeah, I do that too.
All right. Well, you mentioned just a minute ago that you've been in this game development world for a really long time, and that sounds pretty much exactly the same, well, a similar story to Mark and Sander. So how did you get hooked up with these guys that just like by chance have been these game fanatics since many, many years ago?
I don't know them since many, many years ago. I know Micah, by the way. I'm not sure if you also had a talk with him. I know Micah for a much longer time. So I also I met Sander and Mark via Micah. Actually, the first time they called me was literally outside of the vaccine hall. So literally, I got my vaccine and then we had a call, and that is how we met. So it was actually kind of okay. Yeah, I'm just walking here. I got my first vaccine, and yeah, nice to meet you. But yeah, it was a click, like directly. And
Yeah, you guys were like soulmates.
Well, soulmates. There's multiple people who do this, of course. But I agree. Like it's already it clicked very well, and it's still clicking very well. I must say, like it's indeed kind of special how well this team keeps working, even if a lot of people are remote. Yeah.
And like, I mean, Infinity Skies is definitely different from maybe the game. I mean, I'm not really familiar with the exact games that you did in the past, aside from the one that I saw on YouTube that you said was a bit from your amateur days. But this is obviously a blockchain game. Do you have any experience in the cryptocurrency world and blockchain?
Well, my company does. So I am not the backend developer. So I do not deal with the blockchain directly. Of course, I understand the ideas about it, and I like that it has a different dimension, and that if you have stuff, you know, it's really yours, and to play with those kind of mechanics. But I myself, no. This is actually the first blockchain game I made. By the way, it's not the only blockchain game I've ever been in contact with, but yeah. This is my biggest first blockchain project, I must say. Yeah.
Nice.
That's not for the whole team. Like, of course, our systems engineer knows a lot better about the ins and outs of it. Of course, my own. Yeah, I just make the games mostly.
So, from all these games and the experience that you've gained, like producing them, how are you bringing that experience to Infinity Skies to make sure that Infinity Skies will be a success?
A lot. So I've been in large processes, large companies. I've been lead developer at more places. So I know how game development can fail. Believe me about that. And I also know how it can work. And we're doing that. So we're both very good at making the games. You know, just the development of it, but also at planning, management, saying when things cannot happen. Of course, we're also thinking with Sander and Mark about we can do this, but it has to be in order, and we cannot do everything in the world all at once and that kind of stuff. So that's the summary of it.
Can you mention some of the things that make a good game? What particular things do you think would make a game succeed versus make it fail?
Let's see. Good games. I would say they have to understand what people want to play it, right? And then appeal to them. I would also say that a game involves doing stuff, which, you know, if it's not too repetitive, that's nice. If there's some degree of freedom, that's nice too. Of course, too much freedom might make you debate if it's a game or not, if it's just a simulator. It has to be polished. The core mechanics have to be right. It should have the focus on the core mechanics, not on side mechanics. That's what I think. That kind of stuff.
I'm assuming you're a gaming. Yeah, continue.
Let's see, and of course some kind of inventiveness, right? If you're not just copying something else. Yeah, if you literally want to copy something else, why not play the original? That's also a thing, I guess.
I'm assuming you're a gamer yourself. So, like, what are some examples of some games that are really great that inspire you?
So I play, I guess, mostly RTS games. So I don't know, Age of Empires. I like it. Actually, some tower defense games. Legion tower defense, very nice. All the Klei games. you know, Clay Game Studio. Everything they make is pure gold. With Don't Starve and Invisible Ink, and now Oxygen not included. They're all more single player. Of course, for this game, you cannot deny that like The Sims completely. I've played The Sims. I think I played The Sims 2 and 3 mostly. Didn't play Sims 4 as much, but they inspire greatly, of course. You know, even with all the social interactions and all the structures that you can build and all the building mechanics.
And how do you think the blockchain element will influence Infinity Skies and make it, I'll say, a good game, but maybe even better than what would be a traditional good game? Because as you mentioned before, you have actual ownership of your in-game items, and I believe you have a in-game currency called the iSky. Whereas in previous games, you couldn't do anything with your currency; it was stuck in the game. So, what kind of unlocks does this achieve?
Yeah, well, so I must see for itself. So, of course, I guess that it will become more meta. Maybe people visiting your castle will not only be there because of this game, but also because of other stuff you can do with it. Of course, normally if you're in a game, it's all about that game, right? Now it's more connected. That's why it's different, right? Right now you have ownership. This ownership can be transferred and how do you call it? Shown outside of this game. Maybe it can go outside. Of course, it is also a way of motivating people, right? There's also monetary value coupled to stuff. It is a motivation. So I guess those things might be interesting. This is also why the social, you know, at the moment, the demo is only about the building. It's single player, of course. So the social part will be very important, I guess.
Could you picture, I mean, are you familiar with Axie Infinity?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Could you picture a situation where there's actually people essentially living their daily lives within the Infinity Skies ecosystem?
Yes, on top of course, living their lives in their own life, I hope. But I think so. And it all depends on how well the social structures will work and how well we can, you know, gamify the everything and of course people really choose to live there. I sincerely hope so. That's it.
The reason I asked that is because I remember when I spoke earlier, I believe it was either Mark or Sandra, they were saying that one of the main inspirations was from Habbo Hotel.
Yeah, it is.
And I remember people were living, I'm not going to say they were living their lives, but people were spending a significant time in this game because of the social aspect, but then also implementing the economic aspect where you could make a living, at least to some degree. I mean,
yeah, I agree. And it was amazing, right? You could like go around and try to make some mini games in which other people could earn their stuff, and there was this whole thing about it, and the whole and people clinging to like groups and then making making it a home indeed. And of course it is the meaning for us to also be able to how do you call it in English, to provide that.
Well, if and you can have kind of...
let's see, like, of course, so that is our goal. And yes, I think that can be possible. I've seen it in Habbo. I must say, let's see. I've also seen it in quite some MMOs, of course. It's completely different, but it happens. People can make groups and make the ecosystem in there. And we are just going to provide the right place to do that, and also of course within a very nice setting and just beautiful art assets, just very nice tools to build with.
If you have kind of a Habbo Hotel-esque dynamic, but also this meta part on top of it with these ownable assets, could you picture something like a return to the Habbo idea where people were creating their own games within the game? Would Infinity Skies allow users to, I don't know, do some sort of spin-off or in-game games that are not part of the official idea?
I mean, not yet. I can tell you that. Of course, there are gonna be some things like it will not yet literally be supported to do a lot of that kind of things. But I know the whole idea of it being NFTs kind of is already the basis for this. You know, the fact that you can trade that stuff is already the basis for that. So even if it's literally saying things, you know, just a chat function already does that. So yes, I think so, but we're not making those features yet. We're first trying to, you know, kickstart it with some more rigid features. Because if you just say, hey, community, make some games, go play in the sandbox, I'm not sure if that's gonna work. So we're gonna first do some mechanics that have been thought of already, and then but then I assume this might grow. Yeah.
Got it. Well, aside from the more complex grid that you guys said you're working on for the build mode, are there any other upcoming features or things you can share that maybe aren't so widely known yet?
Yeah, feasts are known, right?
Feasts. I mean, maybe they're known, but not known to me. Can you share something about the feasts?
Okay. Yeah, feasts I can share. So in social mode, you can host a feast, and then there will be a feast at your castle. You can actually host a bit more to make it bigger and make it more known on the world map. And then people will get rewards by coming to your castle and completing certain tasks, and kind of like the World of Warcraft event things, to just to have a reference. Like, so you have to. I'm not, by the way, this is not final which interactions it will be, but maybe interact with some people, do a search for a few things in the room, and then you'll have completed some things and you'll get your reward, which means feasts will be the things that will attract people to your castle. And if you go to the right feasts and meet the right people there and do some nice things, that will be one of the first steps to really generate a motive. Yeah.
Okay, that makes total sense, because you were just mentioning that if you have too much freedom, it doesn't feel like a game. And in Habbo, maybe you did have too much freedom, and then people made their own games, and that's what made it catch on.
Yeah. But within those feasts, people are still able to socialize, and we're gonna just see what happens there and see if we can provide ways to make that interesting, right?
Very cool. Very cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Yeah,
and what about you personally? Like, when you're working on Infinity Skies, what does your workflow look like? What does your typical day look like?
Yeah, so how do we do this? Just agile development, game development. We have very good contact with actually everyone, even if people are remote. Not everyone is in the same time zone even, so that's it's actually a real good feat. What's the work day? We code. We have a lot of meetings. Let's see. We like table tennis over here. We're very good at it.
Nice. Do you guys all work together from an office?
Yeah, so with a few of the developers, and also with Sander and Mark, they're and Micah, they're in here in the same building.
Nice, very, very cool.
Yeah.
And can you just talk for a second about the different modes of the game? So you were mentioning the social mode, and also an adventure. You haven't mentioned anything about the adventure mode.
No. Yeah. So adventure mode, there's a thing. It's a bit. There's a reason we're focusing a bit on the social mode for now, because it needs to be done, right? And we want to deliver it to you as soon as possible. Meaning, it's not adventure mode is not our focus. So and that makes me a bit how do you call it? Voorzichtig. What's the word in English? Cautious. Thanks. Cautious to tell too many things, to promise too many things. So adventure mode is being worked on. It's gonna be this dungeon crawly game, um, uh, featuring interesting choices. A big interesting choice about it is if you go toward like there's this sliding scale between this scale between order and chaos, and anywhere in between you can position yourself, which has positive and negative effects for each position you choose. And that should match with the playstyle you want to have. And of course, but like the enemies and all the exact skills and weapons are being designed by the design team as we speak, which I cannot say too much about yet because I am not. Well, it's not in the game yet, so I cannot say that yet.
And even though I personally know about the build mode, maybe some of the listeners they haven't heard of it yet, or they're not familiar with how it works. Can you just talk a bit about the build mode?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So okay, there's also so there's the build mode, there's explore mode, right? Explore will be social mode actually. So social mode is just like Habbo Hotel in your castle or in someone else's castle, and talk and interact with some things and go to feasts. And then there's of course build mode, and that's building your own castle. And we're really trying to make it possible to make really beautiful castles with NFTs. So of course the thing is, the things that you own are NFTs. If you own this very nice statue or a mirror or a painting, very nice, like enormous painting, well, that's an NFT. You can have it, or if you don't want it, you should put it on the marketplace probably. It is going well. We're trying to make it, as smooth as possible. This whole building, all the building options, and in my opinion, it's going pretty well.
From my understanding, there's going to be a monthly competition to see who has the best castles.
Yeah.
And how is your personal castle going to look?
My personal castle. I made some things. Problem is, I'm also deleting it all the time because I'm working on stuff and then everything is broken again. Let's see. How's my own personal thing? I already made like this squarey thing with a hallway and like the main hall in the middle. Of course, there was no way to get an in the middle garden yet because it will automatically generate a roof. But let's see. I also like the blue stones with the golden accents the most. But yeah, that depends on if I can get that NFT later when we couple it with the NFT.
Does some of this revamping you mentioned earlier with more risky or more complex design have to do with your desire to have certain features in your own castle, like this internal garden?
No. Yeah, well, some of them, but most of them are just. Of course, a lot of them came from feedback through the design team to me, of course. And then I was like, yeah, we can do that. Let's do this and focus on that. So so the design choices didn't come from me. I just assessed them like, okay, is this that important? Should we do this? Okay, this one we can do for easy. Let's do that one. And yeah, so some of them came from the point like I cannot put my stuff, exactly where I want it. It all just doesn't fit right, so we're making a bit more detail. Or for example, the doors, there's literally only single tile doors right now in the demo. That made it only possible to make very small doors, which was weird, or multiple doors, making like this arch door thing, which is nice. But now we have big double doors. You want big double doors in your castle, right? So for some of those things, they're kind of, you want to have them, and then what was decided okay, yeah, let's make this first and then go on to social.
Is that going to make more complex or advanced hardware requirements, or it's going to be the same?
Sorry, advanced what requirements?
Will you need more hardware requirements? What kind of computer will you need to run the game?
I'm this laptop I'm doing this on right now. It's I think Radeon. What was it? Ryzen 5. I don't know. It's a laptop, 14-inch laptop. It can run it. So I don't know. It should be fine. Like everything that can run a normal game, like even remotely, yeah. It should have a graphics card. Don't use this on a old Intel integrated graphics card, but use it on something higher and then it works.
Got it. Like a basic computer should run it.
A basic computer that yeah. A basic computer should run it. Yeah, you need like an external graphic card. Is like a separate, dedicated graphics card is nice. If you do have that, then it should just run. If it like the computers that are not meant for any gaming, they might have some trouble. Yeah.
I also got a couple of questions from the community here. Somebody wanted to know, will there be pets in the game?
Sander would like it. It's my remark about that. If we get to that, whenever we get the time, it is on the map.
Is Sander a cat guy?
Well, I think. Oh, is Sander a cat guy? Sorry, I do not know this too much.
It's all right, no pressure.
No, but if we can get to it, we have a lot to do, and if there's any time left, we like it to make that.
If you personally could have a pet in the game, what animal would you choose?
I guess, a monkey, like a monkey with a long tail, I guess. Like a maki or something.
That's like a South American kind of ape or monkey.
Right? Yeah, like there's a small. Yeah. There was this favorite pet I had, ringtail maki. It was nice. It was amazing. They're acrobats. Yeah.
Maybe a lemur. Amazing. Lemur would be cool too. A lemur.
Lemur. How do you spell this?
Lemur.
Lemur. Met een uur. M-L-I-N-U-R. Lemur.
I'll bring you up on the screen.
That kind of stuff. Yeah, literally this one. Yeah, okay, nice. Lemur.
Yeah, okay. I guess we're gonna have.
I think the lemur is literally what I meant. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, this kind of. Yeah, this would be my pet.
So, but then of course it should have future.
Yeah, and then of course it has to be very. It has to be able to jump around and all kind of stuff. And then you request me to make this, and then I go cry. But this is fine.
Wouldn't this be fun if we can get these little guys running around in the game?
Oh, it would be great, but it would.
I guess it's not 100% on brand to have lemurs in the game, but
nope. But,
you could think of that later on.
Yep.
Anyways, another question regarding the maps of the game. Can we remap the control schemes?
It is also on the schedule to do this. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's in the first early access release, but it's just fairly doable for us to make that. Yeah. Nice. So yes, probably. In the early access, I'm not sure, but yeah, yes, probably.
All right. You didn't give us too much earlier on adventure mode, but is there at least maybe a hint of when we could maybe expect a gameplay demo?
Okay, my idea, it is to be announced. I have to say, like, so I'm also not the one deciding on this. It is, not too soon. Not too soon. So it's not at the early access, I can tell you that. So then we will really be focusing on the and that on the social mode, in combination with everything around it, and just making this core to work, and then the other game. So whenever the early access is, then we're kind of gonna have to start on the development yet. So just for indication.
The community has a couple questions regarding like some features of the adventure modes. Don't know if you want to speak on it yet, but things to do with like if there's going to be immediately respawn upon death and different kinds of builds like tank, healer, magic, and so on. Can you speak about any of that?
So it's not really like a tank healer or something else, right? So take Skyrim. In Skyrim, you can do magic, but you can also do something with a sword and whatever. This is also with this game, it's solo for now. First version is definitely going to be solo, meaning you're not only going to be healing. That's dumb because you won't be doing any damage. So you'll be kind of all round. Yes, there you can probably go more into one direction than the other. Of course, there's ranged versus melee. There's also always a choice. Biggest choice is will be between order or chaos, making it more in general making it more randomized how effective stuff will be on you and on your enemy, which you have to then deal with. Let's see, what was the other question?
About respawn when you die.
Respawn? No, there's no. You die. Don't die.
Okay.
So no. The point of it is it's not going to be an easy game. Of course, you literally get stuff that you can sell after playing this game. So it's not going to be too easy. And of course, you still like after every run. No, it's not going to be a quick respawn. You're going to have to restart over again. Yeah, so it's really a roguelike. Roguelike or roguelite. I think it's a roguelike, actually. I don't remember any you keep some of your power mechanisms. So then it's a roguelike, yeah. And don't make Sander mad if I use the wrong term. But yeah.
All right, I won't get you in trouble. And what about maybe like non-playing characters that you can interact with? Are there going to be any of those?
There were ideas for it. I'm not sure. I guess actually if it would be me choosing, I would say no, not in the first version. First version is about a good game in which the core of the game, which is the combat and the exploring, feels right. If that feels right and is good, and by the way, security has been done well. That is the first goal for us, and then we can elaborate on things like NFTs.
Cool. A couple technical questions. What programming languages are used to do Infinity Skies?
The game is in Unity. The backend, I'm not going to tell anything.
Got it. And what about scaling? How are you guys planning to handle? I mean, your game is great. Let's assume it's a giant success. How will you make sure that your servers can handle the load of players?
There is there is load balancing. It is a thing. We know how to do this. This depends, we are kind of ready for this. Of course, we are. So we kept in mind that this might boom and that we might get a lot of players immediately. So even if now literally, thousands of players per second would come, okay, we might have to upgrade some things, but now, but this stuff would not crash. Maybe just slow down a bit, but we would be able to pretty quickly upscale.
Nice. And obviously, in a game like this where money is involved, you're definitely going to get a lot of attention because I guess you can call it in the play to earn genre to some degree. Yeah. But how are you guys going to prevent people trying to game the system?
Ways, okay, of course, like systems have to be secure. They are being secured by standards. I am not sure what I can tell you already because, well, not because of multiple things, because of security, but also because this is in development right now. But we are gonna take active measures in the game to prevent bots, you know, to make it as hard as possible for bots. And of course, we already also have parties working with us that can advise us and help us with this. We're not alone in this.
Is there going to be the ability to do a setup kind of like, if you're familiar with Axie Infinity, the way it works, do you think like in Axie, you can give someone your QR code, which allows them to play with your profile, but without giving away your personal login and password? Is there going to be a way to have someone else play with your account?
Not in the beginning, I guess. Not like that. So I'm just thinking it will be a feature that we just don't have time to make in this short time span. We will be able to make this kind of stuff in the future. By the way, thanks for bringing it up. It wasn't on my radar personally, but I'll get it into the team, see what how important I think this is. But you know, this is probably an after thing. Things first have to work well, and then you have these kind of things.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't have to be so urgent. I think the reason is that in Axie, at least previously, when the prices were quite high, the barrier to entry was very high, and a lot of people couldn't afford to purchase the Axies themselves. So they can make an arrangement with somebody where they can share an account and like have a share of the proceeds of that. Whereas, like, I guess as Infinity Skies isn't launched yet, the barrier to entry will be quite low, at least when it's first starting off, correct?
Sorry, a moment. What was the question?
Like the barrier to entry, it won't be very expensive to get started playing Infinity Skies, at least when it first starts.
No, I agree. Yeah,
like
I agree.
Like monetarily, what requirements will I need to start playing Infinity Skies? Anything?
Literally to make an account?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. It will be free to make an account.
So that's one difference that you guys have with something like Axie, which requires you to purchase 3 Axies before you even start playing.
Yeah. As far as I know, indeed, that's free. I am not sure if they want to introduce this. So if I said it's free now, and then of course people say no, it wasn't gonna. Well, at the moment it's free. I did not hear of any plans to make it not free to just start playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the big difference, I guess, you guys are focusing currently on the social mode, and social, you obviously don't need to start with like expensive weaponry or armor.
Yeah,
very interesting. Cool.
And also the adventure mode. You won't have to buy armor for that. You'll find it in the game, so it will really be a game. You know, that it won't be I paid for this, so this you know, you did not pay enough, so you won't be able to make it in this game. That's not it this time. You can, you know, your skills will matter, and then if you are good, you'll make more because you'll get farther.
Got it. So it's a game based on merit.
Yeah,
I like it,
and that is nice, right? Sometimes, and by the way, so it's based on merit, but only if you want to. You don't have to play the adventure mode. You can also do it in social mode if you want, and that's fair. Or in trade or in other things. So it's just one of the branches that you can take.
Very cool. And just personally, I'm collecting my banknotes every month. Mm-hmm. Are you also doing that?
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So when can we redeem our banknotes?
Good question. Sorry. So this is where my I would have to ask Finn, the systems engineer. He has a more accurate vision on that.
Oh, that's all right. I think there was a roadmap somewhere. I think it was when the game starts, it could be redeemed for crystals, and the crystals would be redeemed for items.
Yeah, Thanks. You were better informed than I was. No. I saw the roadmap. Yeah, it was that one. So yeah. So as you can see, this is the part I was not. Yeah, I don't have it that sharp in that part.
Yeah, it's. I guess this is kind of like an external, community-based initiative.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah,
cool.
I know of it, but of course it's not my part of the job, and also of course I am much into the game, which is of course the part I should be focusing on, and then all the dates I don't know all the dates.
Very cool. Now, before we finish this off, is there any final message you want to say to people that are listening to you talk about Infinity Skies for the first time, or people that are just fans of the game that are looking to, I don't know, get some extra, I guess, insight or anything? Any final words?
Yeah, so you should look out for the social mode for the next release. It's gonna be very cool, and it will make the Infinity Skies world much more alive.
I'm not going to ask specific dates, but any ballpark, maybe quarter?
I might say summer.
All right. I'll take it.
Thanks. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was good chatting with you, Guido.
Yeah, you too, man.
Good luck with the game, and I look forward to playing it, maybe competing with you in the castle competition.